All right, welcome, guys. I think it's week 6, if I know how to count. And super excited to have Emily training us this week. We're talking all about events. She's going to get a lot deeper into it, and then I kind of can add some stuff along the way, and I can kind of wrap it up at the end with my thoughts and stuff too. But I want to commend you all for those of you that are on. And if you're watching this replay, you as well. I mean, this is what it takes. I say it every week. Being on these trainings is absolutely what it takes. Just soaking in every single thing you can from other people. And it doesn't matter if that other person is an executive consultant or a level 5 or a level 2. I mean, everybody has so much knowledge with this business. And I always learn from everybody, all of you, every week. I'm learning from people constantly. And that's what's so cool about these trainings. I love the interaction. That's why we open it up for questions at the end. So, and even if you don't have a question and you just have like a really good nugget to give people, please feel free to come out and, share that with us, because like I say, we all learn from each other. But what I'm going to say to kick this training off is, obviously we are not a party company. We say that to our prospects a lot. But we are an event company, and events are absolutely crucial in building your business. You need to continue to be doing events of all kinds, virtually and in person. You need to be plugged into events. You need to be completely engaged with every event you can ever get your hands on, because like I said, you show up, you go up. You show up to virtual events, you show up to in-person events. Like, that is absolutely key. And so I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to kick it over to Emily. She is amazing. She is going to kind of tell you guys her story and her journey a little bit, and then get into the whole training. And like I said, I'll kind of intersect here and there and wrap things up at the end too. So Emily, kick it off to you. Unmute yourself, because I did mute everybody.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Hi, everyone. I think I've met a majority of you. If not, I'm Emily Fightmaster. I'm a level 5 executive consultant. Hold on one second. Sorry, let me fix this. All right, so I'm gonna start talking a bit, and then I'll get a little bit into how events have affected my business personally. Not long ago, we obviously were all in convention, and one of the sessions that I went to, I heard something that really stuck out to me. And sometimes, going to those things and hearing these things from some of the top leaders is what you really need. So very big on the board, it said, leaders don't miss an event. And I can't stress that enough. There are a few major meetings that take place each year within our company. Generally, their leadership summits. I went on my level 5 retreat that Megan took us on. It was awesome. Our convention, our RNF corporate-led events. And then also we're very lucky on our team. Monthly, we have virtual events and all of our local CNCs. These events give you the opportunity to connect with other leaders in different markets, and you just can't substitute being at these live events, talking to some of the top producers, asking questions, being able to network, even if it's in the bathroom line, and just immersing yourself in these groups with people who are successful. I can personally say that when I joined this company, the reason that I hit level 5 in 4 months is because I did not miss an event. If it was in Troy and I worked 6 to 6, I was rocking my ER get up and I was going straight there with 2 people, and 90% of the time those people would sign. And that's honestly what you have to do, because 3-way calls are amazing, but being in person at some of these live events, it's just the adrenaline. And surrounding yourself, even as consultants, with excited, like-minded individuals who are all pursuing the success that we all want together reminds you why you need to be at those events. And just things like this. It's weekly meetings, being present, learning new things. I just can't stress enough how much events just equal exposure. Sorry, I have notes like all over my table. And it's just that excitement and the momentum plugging into these events. For example, this month we have the Plymouth CNC on the 26th. I know Heather has one in Grand Blanc on the 25th. Corporate is coming to Novi on the 28th, our home office. And even if you can get to one of those, I know I said I went to all of them, and I'll be honest, I went to every single event, and that's why I hit level 5. I started to slack. I'm going to be very real. That's what all of this is for, is learning. And I quit going to events. I was busy. I had multiple excuses. I went from level 5 to level 1. It's possible. And, you know, that's what it took. Hitting rock bottom, being like, Meg, what happened? And realistically, what happened was I quit doing what I needed to do. This business, you have to do footwork if you want to succeed. So I kicked it in gear. I was like, okay, I'm going to relaunch all the people on my team who are just kind of not feeling it, host a virtual event. I began going to the CNCs again and bringing people with me, and I hit level 5 again in a month. And it just goes to show that these events are crucial. Even if it's small things like how Megan will do a 20-minute team blitz. That if that's what it takes for the people under you or even you yourself to do reach outs, you're literally spoon-fed the language, and 20 minutes. I know it's not a full-blown virtual event, but if that's what it takes, it pays off. And another thing that I learned as far as virtual events is launching people under you virtually prior to their BBL. It's amazing. You can't say that one person that you signed doesn't have family or friends out of state, or, you know, people that even live 2 hours away that are not going to be able to come to their home event. There's no reason not to virtually launch somebody. I had a girl from my work that virtually launched someone the day before her big launch, and 1,200 in sales. So it's small things like that. And like I said, sometimes people on your team, they lose steam. We lose steam. Relaunching is genius. It, you know, again, exposure. And then even talking to some of your best PCs, if they've been talking to you a lot about a certain product, or, you know, they may even do direct selling on the side. Whoever you can kind of team up with to help each other out that would be willing to host an online event for you. A girl at my work sells LuLaRoe. She's been talking about hydration forever. She said, you know, I have a huge community of women, this and that. And I said, look, I'll throw you a hydration and you have a virtual party for me. And like Megan said, obviously, like, we're not big on parties, but if your PC is willing to have a virtual event, that got me 5 to 6 new customers that I never would have met. And then again, like product specific events, how we just did the new product reveal. Anytime, which now is the time, obviously, to run with your business. I can't stress that enough. The eye serum hasn't even launched yet, and the exposure that it's getting on Facebook is crazy. And even at convention, like, I wanted to sign up again. It's just that adrenaline at these events that help boost your business. I don't want to like keep rambling on, so feel free to ask questions. I want it to be interactive, obviously. And I know a couple people put questions in the comments below. I hope I addressed those. Another big thing, sorry. So I feel like a lot of people get emotionally tied to the outcome of people saying yes or saying no, even if it's a virtual event. The rule of thumb is about 1/3 of the people that you invite will actually attend your event. And that's fine. That's great. And that's why I can't stress enough personalizing invites. A lot of people, and everyone's guilty of it, gets a little bit lazy and they just do mass invites. Right now, if you go to your Facebook, click on events, I guarantee you have like 16 party events for every single company. And do you know when they are, what they're for? No, because we ignore them. And the same thing goes for us. So when you text people and you're going that extra mile to let them know that, you appreciate them, personalization is so powerful. They're going to be like, oh, okay, maybe I am free that day. Well, you know what? I have been thinking about that product. If you're just going through your list and clicking invite, none of those people are going to be like, oh, shoot, it's Tuesday. I got to hop on Facebook at 9. Nobody is. So it's very, very important. I can't stress that enough, to send a text message, send a hidden message, depending how well you know these people. People at work who have showed no interest in products, like in my ER, 90% of my ER uses Lash Boost, and then there's like the 6 people that won't even say the words Roden & Fields, and that's fine. But if you're sitting next to me and I'm like, oh, hey, I'm having an event later, people on the spot tend to be a little bit more personable, because you can't just click no and ignore it. Just go outside of your box, and just take the extra mile to be more personal. Be yourself, and it will pay off. Also, not just having the events, but it's post-event. Everybody needs to follow up with their guests within 24 hours, even if it's simply to say thank you. Like, those people, even if it's just like 6 of them, they took the time on their Thursday night when they put their kids to bed to watch your event for an hour. Did they buy anything? Possibly not, but they watched it for a reason, and that's going to be in the back of their mind. And it's all about following up. Let's see what else we have for. Sorry. Meg, that corporate event in Novi, is that for everybody?
Yes, that's for everybody. So I'm going to post the link in the team page. So for you local peeps, it's on, hold on, I'm opening it up right now because I think it's on Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. And that's the business presentations from 9 to 10 a.m. And then, so that you can invite guests to it, obviously. And then the business learning events after that from 1 to 4 p.m. So it's kind of cool. Like, they're literally doing the business presentation, invite prospects to it, all that. And then what's cool is, like, let's say you sign somebody at the event, boom, they're going to a training right away that's afterwards from 1 to 4. So I'm going to post that after this. I'll post that in the team page for you guys that are local and can attend that.
Okay. Does anybody have any upcoming events planned, or are there certain things that you guys feel you do for your PCs or on your team that you feel works best as far as virtually, or has anybody hosted events lately?
Heather and I and Lynn are hosting the event this Wednesday. We're doing them once a month. We pretty much have done that for the last 2 years, but we've skipped a couple months here and there. But now we're going to for sure do at least once a month. And then, of course, we're all individually doing our own, events and launches for our own business partners.
Okay.
Here's something I'll say. So I posted Jenna Kravitz. All of you, I hope, if you're not, are on the Daily Experience, because every single time I'm in the car, I don't care if it's 15 minutes, I'm playing a daily experience to just learn and scoop up all the knowledge I can from everybody. And Jenna Kravitz did one. I reposted it on the team page today, and she talked a lot about our new Spark program. And then she talked about how she launches her newbies. And I've done trainings on this before, but we need to like hammer this home because you guys are all running for 5. So what that means is you're going to be adding on business partners. You're going to be adding on a lot of business partners because you want to get yourself to level 5. Within the first 2 weeks of adding a business partner, you have to do a virtual launch. No questions asked. Within the first month, in-person launch. A virtual launch never replaces an in-person launch. Nothing can ever replace that. You have to, and I've done in-person launches, even though I'm in Michigan and they live in New York or Colorado, I Zoom in like we're doing now and I'm in their living room. But I make them still have people at their house and do an in-person launch, and I'm Zooming in, okay, on top of a virtual launch. Now, here's some tips about a virtual launch. I think it's cool to have the newbie go live or record a 3 to 5 minute video at the beginning of it, thanking everyone for being on. And then you jump on live and do a little demos and talk about the products. Then you could put up a few posts of before and afters, boom, 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 boom. Keep it simple. Anybody that orders within the next 2 days gets a free mini facial or something, and that's it. It can be very simple, but I think videos are great. But some people like posts too. They need to see before and afters. But I think that is a great way to kind of incorporate your newbie to jumping out of their shell right away by doing a video or going live and thanking their family and friends. But like Emily said, doing that before your in-person launch, like you need to be doing virtual and in-person launches, okay? Something else, you guys. So Wendy Green is the top earner in the entire company. She joined 4.5 years ago. She makes more money than anybody in the entire company. It's insane. She told us on her daily experience, if you haven't listened to it, you need to. It's amazing that she did eight events every single month. 8. And that sounds crazy. It sounds crazy to me because I'm like, who do you keep inviting, right? But if you think about it, if your team's growing and you have a virtual event at the beginning of the month and somebody joined in the middle of the month, they missed that virtual event. So then you have another virtual event that's happening at the end of the month. That newbie's added into that event, right? On top of doing little events. And you guys, when I'm talking events, I'm not just talking huge, big ones. I'm talking like Wine Wednesdays at your house. You and a fellow business partner of yours invite a few ladies over and have some wine and demo some products. And do it consistently, post about it on Facebook, make it look exciting, and do it. You know, Wendy Green talked about every single Saturday she did an event at her house. It doesn't have to be some big thing. You know what I mean? Emily mentioned PCs. Asking a really great preferred customer to host an event for you, you're going to gain customers from that, right? Like it's opening up a whole nother network. And during these holidays, people like going to parties. People like doing that stuff. Do like a PC appreciation event. I'm personally doing one myself. I'm going to have like a masseuse come over and do like little 5-minute massages. I'm going to have appetizers. I'm not even going to like talk about the products and present. I'm just going to have them out. I'm going to invite all my current PCs and say anybody that brings a friend is going to be entered to win X something and try to relaunch myself. So I have a sideline partner, Jamie Susie, I forgot how you say it. She just relaunched herself last week at her house. She got 6 new PCs and had a night of $1,500. Okay, she's been in the business for 3.5 years. And she was like, why not? Why not just relaunch myself? And she just invited these other people to come that have never heard about it or, you know, never had product. I mean, it's just doing these things to get your, you know, business to continue to grow, and making it look fun, right? Events look fun. We're not a party company. No, we're not. But doing events is what's going to help you continue to grow. Okay.
I also feel like people are more open to coming to things like that. Like, I don't want to throw Kelsey under the bus, but for the longest time, she asked both her sister-in-laws, you know, to come to CNCs, and they were coming. Something happened last minute every time. But Meg, when I had you over and I had like a wine party at my house, they came, they signed. And it was very casual, very laid back. we just hung out, talked about R&F here and there between like appetizers and just talking about life, and they both signed that night.
It's just that variety. I don't know if people, does anybody else have other ideas of things that they have done? Yes, Carrie.
Carrie.
Hey, God, was that loud? I feel like I just screamed. Sorry. One of the things that we like to do, because we are in a small community, but we'll grab other vendors. So like Emily, you were mentioning the LuLaRoe. We're actually having a customer appreciation sale on Thursday, and we're having a variety of vendors, and not like ginormous, not crazy, not overwhelming, but enough that like they invite their friends, and then they come and see like their clothes or their candles or whatever, their makeup, and then we get to promote our products. And it's an RF specific customer appreciation sale, but to drum up more customers, we're having more vendors come. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to say that really quick. Sorry, I yelled.
And where are you holding that, Carrie?
We're actually doing it at Annie's mom is a hairdresser. So we're doing it at her shop so that people can actually demo the products and then wash their face in the basins.
Love it.
Yeah.
Right.
And we asked my mom what her busiest day was, and we were doing it on the busiest customer day so that there's going to be a lot of people in and out, and so that's kind of what we based a lot of on.
I love it.
Yeah.
And that's a good point, guys. You doing them at other places, like at a little cute clothing boutique, and if you have or doing them at a yoga studio, or doing them at obviously a bar or something like that. But just being a little creative with that. And on the flip side, so what Emily kind of started with is, these are obviously, we're talking more about product events and stuff, but even little ones for talking about the business, coming over and having people just come over to hear about the business and casually talking about it over wine, with a couple people, that's obviously huge, because you guys, nothing will ever replace face-to-face interaction. Nothing will ever replace that. Obviously, the next step is getting them on the phone to talk to them about the business. You never type it. But face-to-face, meeting for coffee, meeting for wine, even if it's one-on-one, that's an event, you guys. You just met with a prospect, and they will probably sign if they're sitting there having a glass of wine with you, and you're like, this is work. Like, this is amazing. We get to sit down and chill and drink a cup of coffee together, or whatever it is. I mean, so it's just doing more of those things, because then it's that interaction. This is a relationship-building business, and you're building those relationships. So Emily talked about, she was plugged into events and she hit the top. And I'll tell you guys, that's exactly why I am sitting where I'm at today as well. I never, ever miss an event. At times, I was at 3 to 4 cocktails and conversations every single month, presenting at them. Some of the times at the beginning, I didn't have one prospect or one teammate at this event, but I was there every single time. And I made the sacrifices to, get a babysitter, or they went to bed at my mom's, and then I had to go pick them up afterwards and scoop them up and put them in the car seats and drive them home. But I made the sacrifices to do it, because I know this is a 3 to 5 year commitment. And if I'm going to put the time in now, I'm going to build this through events. And every single time that I have a prospect at a CNC, they sign. I mean, they see the impact. They see the powerfulness. They see the camaraderie. They hear the stories. I mean, that's huge. So those of you that have the CNCs or the corporate events by you need to get your butt there. I promise you, that's going to make you grow. Okay?
And even like a lot of it sounds bad, but is even in convention, like posting everything on Facebook, as much as everything said R&F, when I went back to work or like was out with friends, they're like, why'd you guys go to Vegas? And like, it's a conversation starter. And even at the CNCs, like when you have new people joining, or you're just there with your team having a good time, like it just goes to show that we enjoy what we do. Mm-hmm. And that sparks people's attention.
Exactly. And that's why, when you have 2-3 friends at your house and you consistently do that, and you're having a glass of wine or appetizers or whatever, and you take a picture and you show that excitement. We've talked about this. People want to be a part of something fun, right? People want to be a part of something that's not a boring job. we have that ticket, and you've got to, you know, show that off to everybody and show them that they get to be a part of this, and we get to have these fun events. So, you know, keep that in mind. You guys, if you have 1-2 people on your team, oh well, grab that person and say, listen, we're going to start doing these events consistently every, you know, 3rd Wednesday of the month. Let's do a wine and welcome at my house, or you know, I'm sorry, not a wine and welcome. I don't know, something, you know, and we can post and come up with creative ideas for different event names and stuff, because there's a lot out there. Pinterest has a ton. But it's just being consistent. And, you know, I'll tell you, when Sarah LeBlanc started, my sponsor, she started these cocktails and conversations. The first one she had at a coffee shop, nobody showed. The second one she had, nobody showed. The third one she had, I think 2 showed. This is before I joined. And then I think the third one, maybe 3 people showed. But every single month she did them. She took a picture. Whoever was there, even if it was 10 consultants and not 1 prospect, it intrigued people. And she was consistently doing them. Now, think about all the cocktails and conversations that are in the entire United States, Canada, and Australia, because they've stemmed from Sarah. And she was just consistent about it, and she didn't give up. Okay? So it's just that consistency in doing that. Does anybody else have any other, you know, ideas or things that they think have worked well, whether it's virtual or in-person events?
Something I'm doing this month for the first time is actually, sorry, it's November. At the Level 5 retreat, Sarah LeBlanc and Leslie put on, they were talking about how important it is to make sure we have culture in our team and really, you know, doing things to show like we truly care about our team. And so I'm hosting, I set it up, twisting, painting with a twist in Fenton. And so I'm going to bring like snacks and wine, which is so cool that we can have wine. And everyone's going to like pay their own way to go. But it's going to be awesome, fun, you know, event. And a bunch of people from my team are going to come. And, you know, I just wanted my team to know how much, you know, I care about them and just want to have fun with them. And then I'm going to, of course, you know, post and be sharing about it so people can see, you know, like you guys have said, there's so much more to this business than just, you know, getting business partners and putting in orders. Like we truly care about each other. We're supporting each other, and we're having fun.
I love that. I'm so glad you brought that up, Monique, because you're right. That was a huge eye-opener for me at that Oasis retreat at Leslie's too. And Monique, speaking of, you know, talking about like, don't feel like you can only do a level 5 retreat, you know, don't feel like it has to be a level 3 retreat. Like have fun every month, last day of the month, party at your house so you can all be together. Do a fun ice skating event with your team. Do a fun yoga class when you're with your team. No need to qualify for it. Just something fun to get people together to keep that team culture. Because it can do wonders for your team. You know, those are events, of course, with your team that are super important too, and keep that team culture of just being together. And then, you know, organically, when everyone's together, people are talking about their business and they're learning from each other and they're meeting each other. And, you know, you have, you know, a level 5 learning from an EC that just started that has a great idea. And then there's an EC or level 1 that's learning how this level 3 got to where she was. And it just kind of organically happens. And it's really cool to see those connections. So absolutely, Monique. Thank you for bringing that up. Just events in general with your team are huge.
I personally, the on-site events for me have helped the most, like I was saying earlier. And I just truly can't stress enough, like that's me being real and raw. I did not go to a CNC for probably 2 to 3 months. I just got caught up in life, and that's what took me back to level 1. And it just goes to show that like we're never done recruiting, no matter what level you are. Like our business is us talking. It never closes. And that's, you know, how you move up in this company. And the sad part is every CNC I went to, I had a great time. It was a good outcome. I signed a business partner. So I don't even have a reason as to why I quit going. But it just goes to show that when you do that, you know, it definitely has an impact on your business.
Absolutely. All
Can
right.
I say something really quick?
Please.
What'd you say?
No, I was just saying, and I totally agree with that. And I find myself doing that a lot. With, as far as like when you're talking about being like real with people and just like talking about life and not just kind of like exploding R&F everywhere. I think that was a big thing for me at first. That's kind of what I was like, well, this is what I got to do. Right. But really I've gotten so much further with people by just talking to them. Like, hey, do you want to go hang out? Not, do you want to come to my event all the time? And now that person wants to come to my event. And I didn't even have to ask them. They asked me, like, hey, I'd like to check that out sometime. And I'm like it almost like shocked me. And it almost like, it sounds so silly, but like a light went off. Like, what was I doing? What was I saying to these people? Like an idiot. I mean, almost. I don't even want to say it like that, but I mean, I go back and I read some of my messages, and so many people have said this before, and I'm like, why did it take me, a year, 2 years to figure this out? Why did it? But it's being able to listen to all of you guys and to just talk to people and say, well, what did you do? What did you do? And not, just like shovel it down people's throats. You're before it was like, yeah, I'm sharing, but I wasn't really sharing. I was just vomiting everywhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that's okay. And that's why this is a learning curve,
Yeah. No, I know. And it's so great, it really is. But it just like makes it kind of makes me laugh sometimes, like I laugh about it. And sometimes that's my story, like to people, and it's kind of fun because it makes me laugh and it makes them laugh.
I love
it. I still look back on messages and want to like crawl under a rock and wish I could revoke those because they were just so long and ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Because Holly and I have been trying to brainstorm, to start doing our events together with our team. And I know, we'll probably have to do, a trial and error, but do you feel like it's better to do them at your house or at someplace? Because we just keep going back and forth, and I don't know.
I think it just depends because it's just kind of different. So,
there's no, fun places around here.
You don't have fun places?
I don't feel like we do.
Well, and it depends. At your house, it can kind of be viewed at as maybe a little bit more casual. Like if you, I know some people that have maybe they have a big island in their kitchen and they've set up a regimen on each corner of the island with some information, and then had washcloths set out in their sink in the bathroom, and then it's just been kind of mingling around and chatting. No formal presentation, but more of a sip and sample, they called it, where sip wine and sample the products type event. That's very different than having a maybe more formalized, I just did a launch last week. It was at a restaurant in a private room, and we kind of did it more like a CNC, even though it was a launch, because she really wants to focus more on the business side. So it was more presentation formal kind of. So it just depends on what kind of event you're doing. And I would say trial and error, you know what I mean? Try one at a place and, try one in your house and kind of see what you think works better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we talked about, but I was just wanting some inputs. Thank you.
I also feel like it kind of depends on the crowd as well. When I have people at my house, it's a little more personable, so they feel they have to tell you whether or not they're coming. Whereas some people do like when you have it out, because sometimes, I'm personally not a mom, but when you get a babysitter, some people want to make a night of it. You know what I mean? So they do like
to get out
to an actual place,
Yeah.
So it just depends.
Right.
And then my thing about the house, which is because we're trying to do it in including our team, you know what I mean, and having them invite as well. So then it's if I have it at, say, my house, I feel like more of my people would come. You know what I mean? Because they're comfortable. That, you know what I mean? We have it at Holly's house. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of I don't know. I feel like we're doing too much talking, going back and forth, and you just do it.
Yeah.
and see what
I
happens.
agree though, because some people, you know, that don't know Holly may think it's a little weird if you invite them to her house,
Right.
where some people don't care. Again, it's just the crowd that you're
Yeah.
inviting.
Right. Somebody asked the best way to get a friend or PC to host an event for you without being viewed as like one of those companies, right? I would say like if it's a PC that's like obviously ordered 3 to 4 reorders from you, you know, at least 3 or 4 times, like they obviously love the product. I've straight out asked them and just been like, all right, listen, I love your business. You're amazing. Like, are you open to having a fun get together at your house, inviting some of your friends over? If you get 7 people there, then I'm going to gift you with a free regimen. You know, I'm always loving to look for referrals, and I'm loving to expand my business. You know, are you open to that? You know, and it's not as like hosting a party or whatever. It's just you know, telling them that you're loving on them for obviously they love the products. Who wouldn't want free products to help you expand your network? That's kind of how I approach it with my PCs. And I don't think it's really viewed as like, you know, I get what you mean with like, you know, you'll go to a jewelry party and then they're like, okay, who's going to host the next one? You know, it's not viewed as that if this is a customer that obviously loves the products already. So you can kind of, you know, play it up like that.
I did that with my mom.
Yeah. Good.
Absolutely. I did like a beauty bags and brunch at my mom's house. And she had some bags out that she was selling or whatever. I had all of my beauty stuff. We had mimosas and little finger foods for brunch. And I had Sarah Davis, who's my sponsor. And so we had a little bit of the team element, but mostly just like it was super, super casual. It was kind of like an open house. And it ended up being like my single biggest day and led to my biggest month. And we didn't even really position it as a Rodan and Fields party. It was just like, hey, come hang out. Let's have brunch. Let's hang out. Let's talk. And then Sarah ended up giving a presentation about Rodan and Fields and killed it. She did so great. And it was a lot of fun. And my mom was like, oh, I would do that again, just because it gave her an excuse to have her girlfriends over. So it was kind of nice.
And she does 31 bags?
She does India Hicks.
Okay.
So India Hicks bags, yep.
I actually, back to the PC thing. So I have a Canadian at my work who, she's been on the fence for, I couldn't tell you how long. And she, every single day, and now it's more or less a joke. She's like, I'm going to do it one day. I'm going to do it one day. And I'm like, just have a party over the border. I'll host the entire thing. I'm like, all you have to do is invite people. She literally works at like 6 yoga studios. She travels the world to learn new things about yoga with multiple women. And she's like, you really host the party? And I'm like, absolutely. And then when you have, 10 to 15 orders, I won't put them in and you can enroll and you can place the orders. And she's like fully on board. She's like, okay, I'm going to talk to my girlfriend that opened the yoga studio. It's just like, again, just being yourself. Like I just mess around with her now because I know that she does want to join, but people that aren't in the business, when we say, we just got back from convention and we have new products and it's crucial to start now, that goes in one ear and out the other until you actually sit down and, really explain why it's crucial, because it truly is, especially with these new products. And the eye serum, again, doesn't even come out till November 2nd. Is anybody doing a virtual for that they have planned? No.
May have one in the works, guys. Something's brewing. Okay, so I wanted to give some examples. So I just thought of this because when Ange was kind of talking about, when you're inviting people. So here's like what I do. Like I always know, that there's a CNC in my area, each month. So like I just went on Brinley's field trip on Thursday, met many new moms, you know, and we're on the like hay ride, and this one mom's like, oh, so do you stay at home, you know, because I'm on this field trip, and I'm like, no, I actually, you know, have 2 businesses, you know, and I went into, you know, I work at, you know, my business all from home, and it's skincare business. And she's like, oh, what is it? And I'm like, have you heard of Rodeo Field? She's like, yeah, I actually have. And I was like, what have you heard? She's like, I've just heard some really good things about it. I was like, listen, come as my date. I'm doing a really cool event next week just to hear more about it. Super casual, have a glass of wine and some appetizers. I'd love for you to hear more about it. She's like, really? That sounds super fun. I'm like, absolutely. Mom's night out. She's like, can I bring some friends? And I'm like, yeah. So it was just a casual, like, you know, hey, I actually have this really cool event. You should come and just listen. Super casual, have a glass of wine and hear what the heck I'm doing. You know, I told her a little bit about my success I've had with it and stuff, so that it piqued her interest. But I always make it very casual, and I say, you know, there's no pressure at all. Like, just come hear about it. And we always say, I was told this from day one from Sarah LeBlanc, and it's ingrained in my brain: excite and invite, excite and invite. That's literally all you're doing every day with everything with this business. You're exciting people about the products. You're inviting them to take the skin consultation and sign up as a PC. You're exciting people about this business. You're inviting them to hear more information. You're exciting people. You're inviting them to hear more. You're exciting people. You're inviting them. Literally, you guys, that's what we do with everything. And that's what you're doing with events. You're exciting them, inviting them to come hear more. That's it. Don't overthink it, but, you know, keep that going, because like we're saying, the events is what kind of push people over the edge to just jump in. Okay.
Megan, oh, sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
That, when you said that, like, you always say that don't overthink it, don't overthink it. And I literally overthink everything. I overthink my post. I overthink my day at the pool. I overthink my shopping at Meijer. I overthink it all. And that's when this past week, when Heather was like, about the challenge, and then you guys kept saying, go live, I recorded 17 videos.
Oh no, I love you.
I'm not even joking. And it would stop like 20 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, whatever. And then I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I just went live, and I stumbled, and I was shaking and shivering, and I was like, this is ridiculous. And I was like almost in tears, and I had to like turn the phone away. And then I did it, and I was like, this is amazing. This was
you
great.
rocked it, and you freaking rocked it.
I can do this again.
Right.
And I probably will overthink 50 other things again. But it does. It takes little things like that, like not to overthink it, not to just say it. And then people were like messaging me like on the side and going, hey, like, you're so cute, or you're so fun, or you're so, I mean, it didn't even matter, you know. Half the people were probably watching football. They didn't care about what I was saying, but it was exciting, you know, and it was fun. So that's the biggest thing. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink anything. Just, it doesn't matter. Just do it, you know, make it you.
I'm so glad you shared that, Ange, because seriously, it is, we find ourselves in this business doing many things that you probably have never saw yourself doing, right? You get this like work up, you know, to do it. And then once you actually do it, you're like, that was kind of like fun. Like, I want to do that again, you know, like once you do it. And so, you know, you're right. Like, I'm so glad you shared that, because we all definitely overthink a lot at times. And you just have to go for it. You have to do it afraid in so many instances with this business. You guys, there's times where I've vomited stuff on people, where I've gone back into stores and embarrassed myself because I wanted to get some guy's card or some information. I've just had a girl hang up on me the other day on a 3-way call in the middle of me talking. Oh, well, she's the dumbass. Like, see ya. Apparently this business isn't for you, but it's amazing. Bye-bye. You know, you guys, it all happens to all of us, but you have to laugh about it. You have to just do things afraid, because if you don't, somebody else is going to. And Ange, I'm glad you brought up the live thing, because you guys, people join you in this business. And how do they get to know you better? By being on video. Posts can only do so much, right? But when they're seeing and hearing you talk about your business, about product, like not just filming your kids live, but actually standing in front of the computer or the phone and talking, then they feel like, wow, that she's real. Like, she's fun. Like, I want to be part of that. It's being real and raw and breaking down this, like, my life's amazing, what this highlight reel on Facebook, and really getting them to know you. So that's why I urged you guys to go live. Next step, go live and tell your story. What the hell? Go on and say why you started Rodan and Fields. I did it a week and a half ago and almost vomited when I did it, but I did it. I'd never done it before. Like, why not? It's only going to intrigue people to want to hear more. So, okay.
I'll tell you the scariest thing about live, though, is when you're watching in the upper left-hand corner and you see like 8 go down to 2 and then back to 3 and then back down to 1. And you're like, wow, nobody's watching.
But I also think that's weird glitches, too, within the system because, you know what I mean? Like, no. I know. Do you want to say anything else before I kind of wrap it up? Do you want me to explain the challenge? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Do you want to tell them the challenge tonight, or should I post it tomorrow? I was just going to tell everyone, obviously to pull out your planner because it's going to require that, but.
Sure. You can just leave them hanging.
It doesn't matter.
Does anybody have any questions before, any last questions about anything?
Yeah, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so virtual events. I've not had a lot of success with virtual events. Even though I do like what you guys mentioned, there's not a lot of people that end up purchasing. This is like crickets.
Are you following up with the people that attend the events?
Yes.
And are they giving you like reasons or?
They will just say, hey, thanks for following up. Not interested right now. Or they'll say, oh, I have 2 or 3 friends that also sell this. I was just checking things out. I've had a PC host a virtual event for me, did a similar type of format, and it was like crickets there too.
I mean, unfortunately, sometimes that happens. It's happened to all of us. That's where it does get a little bit confusing when people attend your events and they're like, I have a couple friends that do sell it, because it makes you kind of wonder, why were you watching, or if they were watching to potentially buy from someone else. But again, that's a part of our business, unfortunately. And the people that do watch, just look at it as an opportunity to even give them a mini facial if you haven't already. And all you can do is down the road, just, jot those people down and follow up again.
Okay.
And then it's just continuing to expand your network, so then you're able to continue to invite new people, of course, which I know you guys are all doing and stuff. But yeah, there's been times where I've invited 45 individual people on an event and none showed, it's just consistently doing it. Now, maybe the next month or 2 months later, I do another event and I can be like, hey, you might have missed last event, but you should be on this one. It's amazing, amazing gifts. I'm going to add you to the event. Let me know if you can be on. And I will tell you, here's my thing, and everyone's different. I don't ask them if I can add them and wait for them to respond. I tell them I'm going to add them, and then I add them. That's me. That's how I am. I'm very direct because I don't have time to wait around for you to tell me if you want to be added or not, because then I might get 1 out of 50. No, I'm adding I'm going to personalize it and personally reach out to them to let them know I'm doing the event, that it's going to be a sweet ass event, and they're going to like snooze you lose. You better be on this. I'm going to intrigue them. And then I'm just going to invite them. And then I keep very good notes on who I've invited, because if you don't, then you snooze, you lose. So then the day before, I go back in and I'll like voice message them, hey, just reminding you events tomorrow night. Really excited to have you on. There's going to be awesome giveaways. See you tomorrow night. Boom. And then I can check mark next to all their names. And then after the event, I know who to go on and say, hey, did you have a chance to check out the event? Great giveaways. Let's get your order placed. Like, I just assume they're ordering. I'm very direct in that way. But you've got to make sure you're obviously taking very good notes on this, so you know who to obviously follow up with, because that's what this business is, right? Following up. So keep that in mind.
And I think right now, really quick, I think a huge thing that I'm noticing as I reach out to people is a lot of these people, I mean, we need to be educated on these new products, like to the T. Even my PCs are asking me questions and I'm like, oh shit, hold on a second. I don't know that answer. And I think I know the products. I'm using them, but I mean, that is crucial to know exactly how is it different? And the material's there, all the resources are there in Pulse. But I don't think people are taking the time to do that before they reach out to potentials or existings. And we're losing sales drastically because we don't know the answer.
Yeah. And make sure, I mean, I don't know the answer to a lot of stuff. I had people ask me at a launch last week certain things I didn't know. I said, you know what, let me look it up. I mean, it's okay to say that and look it up and say, hold on, let me check, and then get back to them, obviously. But yes, the resources are all there for sure. So making sure you're brushed up on that. But cool. All right.
I have a question. Quick question.
Yeah.
And this, I don't know if this is kind of off base, but as far as customers go and current customers, maybe they haven't ordered that month. What do you guys do for do you guys send things out to them when they do purchase something? What's good wording to say? I feel like I'm saying the same thing all the time.
You mean for when
Like in the same
when the replenishment comes up?
Yeah, like when they, like somebody had an order and they ordered, and I like to send them a little thank you, a piece of candy, something, whatever it may be, or whether I see them at work and I want to kind of give them a note, a thank, like, what are we saying? What are you guys saying to everybody, to your customers?
When they place their first order?
First order, or even like orders in the future, you know what I mean? Like, I don't do it every order, every time, but occasionally I kind of want to like send something to them.
Okay.
Angela, just ask in the thread, like share what you're saying. And then,
okay.
I say random stuff all the time. Like today I finally played some catch up because I've been, as you all know, way behind. But, it's different every time.
Hi, Lane.
I feel like when people initially purchase or repurchase, I will do something nice. Even, Ange, again, like I'm the exact same way, but this is where we get into like overthinking it. Just literally, like you said, a piece of candy, a simple thank you. And like this year I plan to send like all my PCs, a Christmas card, just simple stuff like how Megan is going to host a party. It's little stuff like that just, even if they don't come, like that lets them know that you do appreciate them.
Right. Here's what I do. I send a thank you when they first order. I write out a thank you and I send them a mini facial. I tell them I always look for referrals. They just get that once they're reordering, it's just a thank you and a text. And then if they've ordered 4 or more times from me, they get a Christmas gift in the Christmas time. They get a summer gift in summertime. That's it. So only if they're ordering 4 or more. If they've if they've done 4 orders, they're getting a Christmas gift. If they've ordered twice from me in the past year, no. It's not worth your return on investment, in my opinion. So, okay. I will say Miriam on Team Dream Life is doing a training tomorrow. I think it's at noon. If you're not on Team Dream Life, we can add you to it. She's doing a whole training on how to get customers to replenish more, how to upsell customers, and what items to upsell them on. So I know, and she's been getting a lot of feedback from all of us as leaders. We're putting our input into this training she's doing, so it's going to be really awesome. I'll share that, of course, on our page, but you can't see it unless you're in Team Dream Life. But I know that'll be huge to help with customer retention rate and just upselling and stuff. So, okay. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you guys. This was awesome. Emily, you were amazing. Touched all the awesome points. Obviously, take away from this that events are the #1 way to grow your biz. Nothing's going to, take the face-to-face interaction. Nothing's going to beat that. Virtually, of course, is the next step after that. But Emily's going to post the challenge for this week. But like Em said, get your calendars out because it's going to obviously have to do with that. And that'll do it, unless anybody has anything else. All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Good night.